everyone. Welcome back on this December 31st, 2018, as this year is drawing its last jagged breaths. Good to see you all again. I'm Trisha. This is my channel, 3 Owl Threads, and you're here, so thanks for that. I thought I would check in one last time in 2018, just like everybody else on YouTube is doing today. Wow, there is nothing short of many options to watch today, which has been very exciting. I'm in a new place just because I can be, and Christmas tree, which is coming down tomorrow. So I thought, well, we'll just be festive one more time. It also puts me right next to Butters, the guinea pig, who's like, why are you talking next to my cage? So sorry about that. Hey. Sorry. So here we are. It's just the little kids and I tonight. Leaf is out of town at the party we were supposed to go to that I decided yesterday while I was crying in the kitchen that I just didn't want to go to. I just didn't. So here's the thing. Where I work, we have time off between the Christmas holiday and the New Year holiday. So my last day of work was Friday the 21st, and I have been off all of this time, and I go back January 2nd, which is Wednesday. And I have really taken advantage of this time off. I've spent time with the kids, I've gotten things done around the house, I have stitched, I have watched Flosstube, I have been lazy. I have worn pajamas every single day. My goal was hashtag no pants with a button, and I am proud to say that I have achieved that. So I just could not stand the thought of spending the last 2 days of my vacation in a car, driving 2 hours to his friend's house, about 2 hours, between 1.5 and 2 hours, and then 2 hours home, probably with him being hungover and me just being irritated and tired, and then having to go back to work the next day. No, I just don't want to. And I decided that I wasn't gonna, but he was more than welcome to. So he did. He had to work today, and then he took off to their house. So he called me earlier. Everybody's having a great time, and so am I, because here I am. Yay! So, like I said, I've had off since the 21st, which has been amazing. I've taken full advantage. I've been really busy, and that's kind of why I'm here. So let's dive in. I need to find my notes because I've got them here somewhere. I've covered them. Okay, so first let me say this. I have gotten so much love from this community this holiday season by way of Christmas cards and holiday cards. I did not send out cards this year. I feel so bad. It is the one time, quite honestly, 99% of the time, I do not send greeting cards for anything because I think they're wasteful and they just get thrown away. But Christmas cards are my exception because I love to send them and I love to get them, and I display them for like all of December and usually into January, and sometimes I reuse them. And yes, so to all of you that sent me a card, thank you so much. I love them all. They're all on my mantle, which you can't see right now. And I will enjoy them until I take down those decorations, which is usually at the end of January. So thank you for that. So I haven't been stitching a lot because of work. I come home usually a little bit after 6 p.m. and I'm exhausted, and by the time I try to eat something, maybe I think about cooking dinner. Most of the time I don't because I'm tired. Spend a little bit of time with the kids and my husband, and then they go to bed, and then I go to bed. So I have been drinking copious amounts of coffee, like legit 2 to 3 pots of coffee a day, staying up until midnight at least, sleeping in until 8 o'clock in the morning, which just seems sinful. Um, it's been great, and I've been stitching as much as I possibly can. When my husband comes in and says, "What are we doing today?" and he looks at me in my stitching chair, I say, "You're looking at it. I'm not doing anything but this." And that's been my motto for the past week, and it has worked out. So the first finish that I have, because yeah, the first, there are multiple. I don't remember when I started this. I want to say it was early in December. It is from Country Cottage Needleworks. Did I bring? I might not have brought the copy of the chart over, which, I mean, I guess I don't really need because you'll see it finished. But it's called Simply Vintage. I don't know where it's at. Simply Vintage, and it's by Country Cottage Needleworks. Oh, here it is. Found it. Yeah, Country Cottage Needleworks. Simply Vintage. This I just picked up on a whim. I think I showed it in my last video with haul, and I picked it up and I thought this looks really easy. I think it took 4 colors, even though it all looks like one. It's 4 colors. So I went down to my craft area, I picked some fabric, and I started it, and I finished it my second day maybe of vacation. I don't remember. It did not take very many stitching days total. There is a mistake in it towards the bottom. I don't really want to talk about it, but if you see it, you can leave a comment and let me know. But I'm probably not going to fix it. It looks fine enough to me. I don't know how I'll finish it, but I will eventually. So I'm very happy that that was done. It felt really good to accomplish something. This is stitched in all the called for colors, which I can't tell you because the actual chart is over my stitching spot. And this fabric was a blue Monaco that I got on Stash Unload like 2 years ago. Just a cut that I was never going to use, so I coffee and tea dyed it, which is why it looks so grungy, and I love it. 28 count Monaco, I'm pretty sure. So eventually that'll get turned into something. I also finished 3 other things that I started just 3 days ago and then just churned them right out, which I might have also shown. I don't remember if I showed this in my haul or not, but this is Shepherd's Bush Stitching Trifles. I have, just so you know, I have 2 of these available in my Etsy shop right now with the Jabco button pack that come with. So, Stitching Trifles. I've been wanting to stitch some stitching related patterns. So I saw that, I loved it, I decided I'm gonna do this. So I recently purchased, which I don't think I showed and I'm not going to, an ornament grab bag from Under the Sea Fabrics. And I got those, I don't know, a while ago, a week ago or so, and I thought I'm gonna use some of those. So the first one that I did was this stitch one. And as you can see, it's on a 32 count Chesapeake Bay cut. I picked threads from my stash. I think the only one that I had on hand that I could find, because my threads are a hot mess, is this, which is Blue Corn from Classic Colorworks. I'm pretty sure that's it. Blue Corn from Classic Colorworks, yep. So that's what the blue is. Everything else is from my stash. This took me, I don't know, I started it one night and I think I finished it the next morning. So there was that. And then the next morning, I started this one, which is also on a piece of grab bag linen, 32 count Lugana in Avalon. And this one, those vines are supposed to be green, but I just didn't care at that point, I guess. And for the sheep, I used, you're not gonna be able to see, I used the Gentle Art Marshmallow Wool 1 strand. And it is perfection. And then of course the buttons, this little button and these were from the Jabco kit. So that one got done. And then right after that, I started this one and finished it this afternoon, I think right before noon. All my scattered moments are taken up with my needle. I love this one probably the most. And this is on a piece of 28 count Jobelin that Adele sent me a couple years ago. So thank you, Adele. I'm using it. Yay! And the only called for color I used is the blue corn, which is right here. This, I can't remember what it's called. Sorry. I'll try to blog. No, seriously, I need to do that. So I will try to put up some show notes for real so you'll know what that is. But it's beautiful, and I'm sure it's a Gentle Art, and I just can't remember. I'm sorry. So those will get turned into pillows, never. But I love them. They've just been great. They've given me that push to stitch. They have given me the satisfaction of having finishes. And it was just nice to be able to sit with it in my hand and work on it and see progress and see a finish so fast. I could not be happier with that. I did work on a couple whips in the last month. I don't remember when or where I was when I showed you the Stiachalong. So I'm gonna show it again. I don't remember if I've worked on it since my last video. I think I have, but I don't remember, and I should have looked and I just didn't. So this is just the top part. Home is where and this is stitched on 32 count Lugana in Ancient from Picture This Plus, and I'm using all DMC Etoile, and they're all Christmas colors, well, except for that gray. So I didn't like any of the endings to this. This is the first time I've participated in the Stiachalong, and I did not like any of the endings. So I've just been spending a lot of time on the Facebook group to see what I can steal from some other stitcher. I saw a couple of Harry Potter ones today in that Mystical or Magical Stitches group, the Jane Austen group that turned to a Harry Potter group for this year. And I really liked it. And I can't remember. There was one that said where the Hallows were, and then there was one that said home is where the magic is, maybe. And it had a Hedwig and just a bunch of teeny tiny motifs. It was really pretty. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I don't know. That's what happens. It's a true mystery. So sometimes you're just going to be disappointed. I can't rip all this out. I'll think of something. If anybody has any great ideas, you just let me know. So I worked on that. I pulled out my Courtney collection peacock, which looks like this. This I started at the first Flosstube, the original Flosstube retreat in Austin. Austin? Yes, Austin. I started it, Lord, did I ever start it? And then I don't think I touched it until just now, like this month. I might have pulled it out one more time, but it's not, it's boring. It's a boring stitch. It's a boring stitch. So this is where I think I had like this top part done. So I did all of that, which if you look, see this? It is just this top part of the border, that top corner. No. And I should probably tell you what I'm using. the Gentle Art Black Crow, which actually has like a really, it's a dark blue, variegated. You just can't see it that well, but I promise you it's there. And my needle minder is from Jen at Delicious Threads, and it is being stitched on a 32 count piece of Lugana that I dyed myself using Rit dye and spray bottles, and you can find that on my Flosstube because I videotaped it for science. So it's going to be a really big heifer if I ever get it done. It's not going to be done this month or this year, is it? No. But I did work on it a little bit, and you know what they say, every stitch counts. So that's where we're at with that. So those were my whips. I started 2 other things. I'll start with the one that I really can't tell you what it is, and it's not far enough along where you're going to even be able to tell, but I'm going to bring it up because I did it, and then I'll probably won't speak of it again for a while. This is my new start. It's going to be fantastic. It's designed by Blank Person, and the chart's called Blank Person, and you'll find out more about it in 2019. I am stitching it on 32 count Silk Weaver Belfast in Days Gone By, and I was looking down because the tag is on the back. And my needle minder is from, oh, Nifty Needle Nannies, I think, from a long time ago, because my last big needle minder purchase was Jen at Delicious Threads, and I have so many needle minders that I don't need anymore ever. Stop me, please. So I love this fabric. It's wonderful. This piece is going to look freaking amazing on it, and you will find out more about that at some point. I need to work more on that though, but I at least got it started. So my other start that I did work on for maybe a week, I don't remember, I was very excited about starting, is Feliz Navidad by Blackbird Designs. I picked this up after Michelle Rudy showed it on Facebook. It might have been in the Midwest Stitchers group, and she is hosting a stitch along for this and 2 other winter samplers. But I love this one, and I am doing this all, I don't want to say all, okay, truth time. I need a drink. So I bought this pattern quite a while ago, a few months at least. And then I decided last month I wanted to use the called for colors. So I bought them, and 4 or 5 of them were out of stock, which was pretty bizarre because I generally, like stuff like this, I buy from my distributor when I'm buying like all of my nest egg threads and such. So I'm like, why are you? But there have been some problems with getting some colors. So I slipped all of the threads in here, and when I went to pull this out, the first 2 that I needed, which was like this green and this red, were ones that I didn't have. And then I thought, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna be able to start this. I don't have the threads. And then I realized, Trisha, you're the maker of the 3 Owls nest egg. Like, what do you mean you don't have threads? Because I don't know if you guys know this, but I have several subscription options. You know, if you're a customer of mine, you know this. And everything that I offer, I keep one for myself. So every month, I offer a Gentle Arts option, a Weeks Dye Works option, a Classic Colorworks option, a Dinky Dyes option, a Threadworks option. I'm missing something. Whatever. And now, oh, fun fact, I've just added Krynic. So I get all of these in, and I order 1 extra for me. So that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 45. Oh, Karen Water Lilies, 49. Probably over 50 threads a month come in, and I stash them away for me. So don't ever let me say about anything, I don't have the threads, I can't start that, because it's BS. That is so stupid. So after I slapped myself a couple times, like mentally, and thought, Trisha, what is wrong with you? I just picked some threads. So I can stop talking about this. So I'm picking, some of them are called for, some of them I'm picking out myself. I am stitching this on Properly Primitive 32 count linen from Under the Sea Fabrics. And this is where I'm at so far. I can't love this enough. Oh, look at it. Oh my dear gosh. I love it. So the green out here, I'm pretty sure I used dried thyme, and this red is pulling more orange than the called for baked apple. Cherry cobbler. It's called for Weeks Dye Works baked apple. I'm using Classic Colorworks cherry cobbler, and it's more of a warm red than a cool red. So, but it's fine. It looks great. And then I had chosen this blue, and then replaced it with this Weeks Dye Works Deep Sea, because the blue that was called for was Teal Frost or Frosty Teal, something by Weeks, and I didn't have it. It must be Teal Frost, because I would have a Frosty Teal, because nest egg. So I changed it to the deep blue, Deep Sea, whatever, and it's beautiful. And now I'm thinking, do I rip this out, because these are my initials, and put them in the proper blue, or do I leave them like that? And now that I'm looking at it more, I'm probably going to just rip them out. But that's as far as I got. I love it so, so much. I love it, love it, love it. I love it. Maybe I should pull this one back out. So that is what I've been working on. And then today, after I finish that, all my scattered whatevers, I started pawing through my whips and pawing through things that I had pulled to start this year that I didn't end up starting, and nothing was really calling to me, and I was getting disappointed, and I was pawing through my whips and nothing was calling to me, and I was getting upset. And then I decided that I wanted to stitch with silk, so I pulled out my Kathy Barrick 3 Snakes in Paradise, which I'm gonna pull out here for you to see. I picked up this chart at Stitcher's Paradise in Las Vegas when my husband and I went last year. We went in 2017. And it is charted for all NPS, needlepoint silks, and I bought them. And I was just watching, in fact, I'm in the middle of it, or towards the end of it. Julia of Julicious just updated. Like I said, everybody is updating. This is the last year, or last day of 2018. You gotta. And she said that somebody else had said, and I've heard this too, and I think I've even said it, the silks are not necessary. They are, I mean, you can see them right here. They aren't variegated. They're solid silks. They are not necessary to make the piece beautiful. It's the experience. It is the experience of stitching with the silk. And that's why I bought them at like $7.50 a skein. Because I wanted a piece that was done completely in the charted for silks. Will I ever do that again? Chances are slim. Chances are slim, but it's the experience. So this is where I'm at on 3 Snakes. Just this evening I have done this dirt, or maybe it's grass. It's in an olive green, but it looks like it's brown to me. So, and my needle minder was a gift from Tracy P back in the day. I love it. And this is a piece of 32 count linen that I just got from the scrap bins at Stitcher's Paradise. So that's it. So that's what I'm working on tonight until I don't feel like working on it anymore. But the silks are sex on a string. Sex on a string. Yes, they are. Okay. What else do I have? Just a little bit of, just a little bit of interesting information. Okay, so I went back through my Instagram this afternoon because a lot of people I noticed on their wrap-ups were like, oh, I finished this many projects and here they all are. I don't have mine all right now, though I might put something together at some point early January. But I did go through my Instagram and count all of my finishes because I always post them, and I had 34 finishes. Like, that's the most ever. Now I'm gonna out myself a little bit and say that 12 of those were Lizzie Kate sled ornaments on perforated paper. But still, 34 minus 12 is whatever that math is, and I had that many finishes. Only, let me see, 11, 12. I had 12 FFOs because I did all of the sleds. In fact, you might be able to catch one on the tree. There's one. Can you see it? Yeah, right there. There's one that's hiding. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So all of those, I did 2 smalls for retreat swaps. Did I do 2 smalls? No, I did 1 small for Lynn Joe, and I did 1 small for StitchCon. And I don't think I gifted anything other than those. So everything else is folded up in a bin somewhere. That's just how it goes, right? That's okay. It's fine. But 34 finishes. I'm really happy about that. So I'm pleased with where I ended up. You know, what can you do? And then I have written down shop update, and I didn't really bring anything to show you, but I did update my Etsy store. So there are new patterns in there. There are a couple Kathy Barrick Christmas patterns, and I'm just looking because somehow it helps me, because I can see the little pile. There's stitching trifles in there, the ones that I just finished. Those are in my Etsy shop with the Jabco button packs. There's a La-Di-Da Happy Life sampler that's in there. I have Mill Hill kits in there. And then I mentioned before, I did add Kreinik to my nest egg. So if you're a nest egg subscriber and you're interested in adding a little bit of bling to your 2019, check that out. That is not on my Etsy shop. That's in my Facebook group. But I will also, if you don't use Facebook, that's fine. I will put the links in the description box for my newsletter, because I don't think I've sent out the Kreinik news yet. And the order form. So you don't have to use Facebook to take advantage of my nest egg subscription. And if you join my newsletter, you're going to get a lot of the important information that I share in my Facebook group. That is another thing. I am also doing pre-orders for Jack Frost Tree Farm, which is the newest either Little House or Country Cottage Needleworks series starting in February. I have a pre-order for that. The pre-orders close January 15th, I think. So I will include a link for that as well down below, because I have sent that out in the newsletter already. Plans for 2019. I really don't have any, because I don't know how my stitching time is going to shake out. It's really unpredictable with work now. I'm trying really hard to commit to myself in 2019. Commit to self-care, commit to giving myself time to decompress, committing to following through on things that I want to do or that I need to do as it relates to my business or my Flosstube channel or my blog that needs to be dusted off. I'm trying to commit to a lot of things and really see them through. So I didn't make any big plans, but one thing that I was excited about was when Garrett reached out to me and was like, hey, did you ever finish your Sarah Davis Clonmel Stitchy Box sampler? And I was like, no. And I had been working on Feliz Navidad at the time. And I said, no, but I've been thinking about it because Feliz Navidad has really made me, I mean, I love stitching letters. So he's like, yeah, I haven't finished mine either. Do you want to sell it? And I said, okay, because why not? So I meant to have a picture here, but I don't. So I'm going to put a picture up here of what the finished Sarah Davis Clonmel sampler looks like. It was a Stitchy Box exclusive. I bought it when we were in Florida. So it was in 2016, I think, that it was released. Spring 2016. Yeah, and this is as far as I am. My goal last year was to get every row started, but I didn't. So this is where I'm at. Got all the way down to Sarah. This is pretty big. This is a 36 count piece of vintage country mocha from Witchout. I am picking all of my own colors and they're all different so far. This is what I've got. And this is when my palette was pretty small. I had a bunch of overdyed threads from several years ago when I used to stitch. Now I'm not going to have a problem picking out some other colors. So I'm more worried about this top row because this is the border all the way around and I'm not going to have enough of that. I already know I'm not. It's Weeks Dye Works brick. And I'm using 2 strands on 36, which I'm kicking myself for because I hate 2 strands on 36 count. But I figured it would give the letters more bulk, which it does, and they look great, but I'm still kicking myself because I don't like 2 strands on 36 count and it eats floss, and I'm never gonna have enough of this. But one thing that I have learned from starting to stitch samplers, especially reproductions, is that when those girls ran out of one color, they just switched it. They just switched it and who cares? So if I run out, I'm just going to switch it. Who cares? Who's going to know? Sarah Davis, Clonmel? She's not going to care. So this is it. I really like those. And I really like this. So this, our goal is once a month. Our goal is 2 lines a month, a border and letters. So for January, I'm going to take this border all the way across and I'm going to finish these letters. That is my goal. And if I go crazy, maybe I'll just move down to this 3rd, or I can start doing the border down the sides. So that's a plan. My needle minder was a gift from Emily C. That is it. As I was going through my whips earlier, I pulled out 3 that I'm no longer interested in. A lot of people are doing whip parades right now, which I'm not gonna do today. Maybe another night. I feel like I need to do one of those lives like Bendy Stitchy and Lolly did, where they just kind of went through their stuff and went, because I have that feeling about some of my stuff. I have that feeling. And I mean, what are you going to do about it? Sometimes you fall out of love with things, right? Especially if they sit in your whip bin for 2 years. Eventually you might not be interested in those anymore. So that's it. That's all I've got for 2018. I'm just gonna kind of leave it here. This is a really rough time for a lot of people. There has been a lot of tragedy in our community this year, and even really recently. I would just take a minute to reach out to somebody, not to have a deep conversation, because you know what, a lot of us can't handle that right now. Well, I tell you, yesterday I cried in my kitchen because I didn't want to go to a party. Like, that's that's the kind of stuff I'm dealing with right now. Just, you know, a kind word can go a long way. Letting somebody know that you're thinking of them, even if it doesn't seem like it would matter to you, it matters to others. It really does. These are hard times right now for a lot of people, and there's a lot of stuff going on. So be kind, reach out, be a good friend and a good neighbor. And I really hope that 2019 brings all of you the best of everything, because I think we all deserve it. So on that note, stay stitchy, and I will see you next year. Bye.